Shannon Auto Electronics here. Today we are playing with a MK4 Jetta 99 to 05 approximately, and we're going to swap out this standard instrument cluster for the full center display, the full FIS cluster from overseas, a European cluster. So there's a few different processes involved. This is immo 3. You can also do with immo 2. The process is a little bit different. But on immo 3, basically you have to know the Immobilizer pin, the 4-digit pin number, which you can get from either the cluster or the ECU. You need that from both the original cluster and the new cluster. On immo 2, you just need it from the new cluster, I believe. So we're assuming that you already have the pin to log in, and then you also need the pin to adapt the keys again, to learn the keys once you put in the new cluster. So it's a process, but we're going to just show you kind of how it gets done and go from there. I'm not going to show you every step and how to get the pin and all that, because that's kind of not a secret, but there's a process involved, and we wouldn't be in business if we gave away all the techniques and processes on how to get certain things. So here's the old cluster. The next step will probably just be installing the new one. Then you'll see the new cluster installed and the keys and all that. So be back in a second. Alright, so we have the upgraded cluster installed. Also, we have our switch here with the buttons. That's a prerequisite to doing this. That gets you through the menu screens here. So I'm not going to go every single step, because this is documented on various forums, and VCDS, their website, Rostech, has the procedure. But hang on, I just have to... I'm actually changing the mileage right now to match the vehicle, so just stand by and you'll see that magic happen. 75,000. So 75,000 was on the replacement, and we're putting on 193. So that's going through right now. It's programming, and that's done. So you'll see how cool this is. It's got a full display. It says fasten seatbelt, all sorts of other information. If you open the door, it'll tell you which door is open, the hood too, and I believe the trunk. The one on this wagon's not working. Their sensor's bad or something, but does everything here. All the doors. There's the rear door open. The beeping with the door open can be coded out. That's just a USA thing. I don't know why they did that on that, but that's the clock. Okay, so I'm going to go through here and kind of explain the process. So like I said, you need the pin from the original and the new cluster for immo 3, which that's what this is. I think the cutoff was like early 2002, and prior was immo 2, something like that. But basically, I think you're going to need the radio code too, because yeah, that locks out once you reprogram everything. Again, there's services for that. You can see on top, now it shows that number, and that number is the pin that I'm trying to enter for the radio to unlock it. I don't have it. I have to look that up later. Okay, so basically you install the new cluster, plug it in and everything, and then you log into it. You enter the pin from the new cluster in VCDS. So that'll get you in the cluster, and then you go to adaptation 10, and then you go to channel 50, and then you enter the pin of the old cluster, so the pin to the vehicle, and then that'll get you into the Immobilizer and matching up the cluster to the car. If you see a message like channel 50 is not available, you have to go to what was it? You have to go to the CAN gateway, go to the coding of the CAN gateway. I think it's 0006 should be the default coding, and then you just click do it, and it refreshes the CAN bus gateway within the cluster, and then you go back to channel 50 again, and then you can actually access that. So that was a problem I found earlier, but that's the solution for that. So then once you get into there, you let's see, yeah, you go back to channel 50 of adaptation, which is 10-10. You enter the original pin and then click on test. You'll see 32,000. That's normal, fine. So then click on save, done, go back, close the controller, shut the ignition off for about a minute, and then turn the ignition back on. Now when you log into the instruments, you should see the original car's VIN and immo ID. That means the new cluster is now programmed to the car. So after that's done, you just basically recode your keys. You put the key in and go through the procedure to whatever you want to call it, relearn your keys. So that is same thing. You go to instruments and then measuring block 8, and then basically log in again. Now for this pin, you use the original pin again. You don't use the cluster pin, the new cluster pin. So once you log in, you go to adaptation 10 again, and then channel 21. And now this is going to show you how many stored keys there are. And basically what you need to do is just put in a new value. So if you have 2 keys, you have to do them all at once. If you have 1, you just put in 1, and then you click on save. And then done, go back, close controller, and then that's it. You're done. You'll see the Immobilizer warning light turn on for 2 seconds, and then it goes out. That means the key that you have inserted in the ignition is now matched. And then that's it, you're done. The car should start at this point. So that's pretty much it. Brief rundown of the swappage here. If you have any other questions, I mean, like I said, this is all documented with the switch here, how to wire the switch into the cluster. The outside air temp you'll see down there, it's not hooked up right now, which is why it's dashes. But once you get the air temp sensor, that'll show up, and then you got all these cool menus and stuff. So that's it. Let us know. Bye.